Farm life. Farm life. Hashtag farm life. We love to farm. And we especially love to farm TOA hard. Usually without paying much attention to our phone. Like doing chores around the house, or working, or talking to your loved ones, and actually acting like you love your loved ones when you really just love your summoner's war. That's a joke. I love my loved ones, but I oftentimes find myself autoing TOA hard during like dinner with the family or something. And so this topic comes up over and over and over again. What's up, guys? The TOA hard. How do you how do you auto TOA hard? Well, let's visit it again. Okay? So what I wanted to do with today's stream is I'm gonna auto a little TOA hard like I normally do. I'm paying attention to it. Normally I don't really pay attention to it very much. Just kind of press the button and do other things. Like I've been doing house cleaning and stuff all day. What's up, everybody? And but I think this is worth visiting because I get asked this question over and over and over again, and everybody asks this question everywhere. Like, okay, I want to build a team that's going to be able to press the auto button and do most of TOA hard. And in reality, it really doesn't require any special luxury units except for just one. And the one special unit that is more valuable in autoing TOA hard than any other unit in the game is this bad boy right here. Good old Briand. So it's going to be tough. Now, I'll just throw this out there as a disclaimer. What's up, Zed? Throw this out there as a disclaimer. I'm not a big fan of other TOA hard. I'm just going to press the button and do pretty much all of TOA hard, with the exception of maybe a couple of random levels. Comps that don't have a revive. Okay, like if you want to auto TOA hard, you got to think of it in terms of I need specific roles in my group, right? And one of the roles that is pretty much necessary if you're going to have a solid I'm going to auto TOA hard team is you got to have revive. And like we know, those units in the game are kind of limited, and the best one for TOA hard auto fun is most definitely Briand. Why Briand? Why? Like I have Eladriel, right? But do I use Eladriel to auto TOA hard? No, I don't. If I had the light Epicon priest, would I use her to auto TOA hard? No, I would not. Wouldn't touch her. There's no better unit than Briand for autoing TOA hard, primarily because, especially when you get up in here into the hard levels, the ability to be able to put him on despair and allow him to get stuns, and his area of effect, his area of effect, attack break, and the fact that when he does revive, it evens out everyone's hit points. Those are the three things that make him like TOA hard boss, right? Not only that, but there's some levels where him bringing heal block allows you to get the boss down. Like even if you're like say you're on stage with Artemal, right? And you're autoing the Artemal stage, but he heals himself, and you don't bring a team that has like armor break or something. Well, as long as you got your sustain and you just leave your phone alone long enough, at some point Briand's going to get heal block and Artemal's not going to be able to heal himself, and the game's going to be over with. So The only luxury unit, okay, is Briand. And can you substitute Briand? Yes, you could, but you got to use a revive, okay? All right. Another thing you need to auto TOA hard is you need area of effect dots, okay? And everybody confuse Beretta, right? Well, what if you don't have a Beretta? You can use a Thrain or a or the Water Grim Reaper, okay? Or like say you're luxurious and you got Zyros, you could use like a Zyros or something like that. You got to have AOE dots, right? Because a lot of these stages, especially in the hard mode, the only way you're whittling these monsters down, right? And granted, we're not playing this manually, right? This is about team compositions for just being able to press the button and enjoy your Sunday like I'm doing generally, and allow the loot to collect itself. You're whittling them down with damage over time spells. They all have a lot of hit points, and there's no better tune than that than Beretta, frankly. But maybe we can just throw a Thrain in there for next run. It's definitely easy to make a comp, same general comp, but use like a Thrain. Like say you got him from arena rewards, but you don't have a skilled up Beretta. Certainly something that's doable. But my favorite and always the consistent staple is Beretta. And of course, you get the added benefit of being able to throw Despair runes on him. And when you throw Despair runes on him, you get the opportunity to random stun stuff, which mitigates damage and allows you to clear. What else do you need? You need a healer, of course, right? And in this case, we're using Bella. Now, what's the bonus of the healer? Bella is probably the second best next to like a Despair Praha. And the reasoning why is because he's going to heal, okay? And he's going to heal super intelligently, and you need that for autoing, right? This is about auto. It's not about like manual. It's not about speed clearing. It's about pressing the button and like leaving your phone alone. Bella is gonna his armor break and his buff stripping is gonna allow your team to focus a monster. Like if you notice here, okay, because we have Bella, he's like, hey, let's kill this Chloe on the left first, right? And he's putting an armor breaker on her, and he's taken off the immunity, and he's shortening the time of the run, and he's got super intelligent heals that he's going to use spot on, like regardless. Like if somebody needs a heal, Bella's going to pop in and heal. It's not random. Say like Anival, right? I have Anival. Do I use Anival to auto TOA hard? Not very much. No, because she's random. Her AI isn't spot on. She doesn't remove buffs, right? Bella removes buffs. He adds armor break that lets your team focus the target. He is so useful in other aspects of the game. So if you got him Rune like for crazy defense and crazy hit points, he just comes in handy in TOA hard. The other element is you need massive amounts of like cleanse, and for this example we're using Veramos. I've always used Veramos to auto TOA hard, mainly because of the combination of his cleanse is automatic, right? You don't have to worry about things getting random, and of course he adds area of effect stun, which is going to help you mitigate damage and stuff. What's up, Miles? Are there other monsters that you can use for your super static be all end all point on area of effect cleanse? Yeah, there probably could. Delphoi and Eladriel come to mind, but really in terms of overall effectiveness, it doesn't get much better than Veramos. Primarily because he's doing the cleanse for you, and he's also adding, really consistent automatic area of effect stun, which a lot of times is what you need in order to pull off the auto on a lot of these levels. Okay, so Finally, the last element, the fifth role that you always need in your auto TOA hard teams is going to be that support monster that's going to give you extra speed. Okay, and in this example, we're using the Mav, the Wind Penguin Knight. Substitutions for Mav could be Bernard, or maybe like a really, really high hit point Orion. Wouldn't recommend any other substitutions other than those. Bernard has his pluses over Mav. Bernard adds armor break. So let's say you're not using Bella as your healer and you're using some other tune as your healer for your auto TOA hard team. You might use a Bernard over a Mav, so you got some armor break on your TOA hard team. The combination of Mav and Veramos together is generally enough cleanse to keep the TOA hard train rolling, even on like the most difficult levels. He comes with the added bonus of, hey, he reduces everybody's cooldowns. He allows your daughter and your healer and your reviver to do their job faster and quicker and allow stuff to go down, Now, one of the things that we'll notice is this stuff takes all day, especially on the boss levels, right? I was doing the Poseidon level earlier, and it was auto. I pressed the button, auto Poseidon level 50 or whatever. No problems whatsoever. I was just using this team, and but killing Poseidon took a really, really, really long time. Why? Well, because the dots don't work on the boss. We don't have any damage units, but that's not what this is about. This is about maybe throwing it out there and answering those questions about, hey, when TOA hard comes out, I want to press the button and leave my phone alone and collect loot. And so expect, like that Rune stage that you just saw there, expect there's going to be some runs, there's going to be some waves that take like 15 minutes. I can recall a couple of months back, my auto team got stuck on the Veramos stage when it was in TOA hard, like TOA hard 80. It was stuck on the Veramos auto stage for 45 minutes. I was autoing Veramos for 45 minutes, but you know what? I didn't care because I was walking around the mall. I was shopping with my family, and I knew that if I left it alone long enough, it would win. And did it win? Yeah, it did. It allowed me to shop with my family and buy stuff and have fun and not have to worry about paying too much attention when collecting loot. That's a good question, Epic. Is this your TOA hard team or just the starter? This is a TOA hard team that pretty much anybody could make with the exception of Briand. Okay? This is not hard stuff. Everybody can get a Mav, everybody can get a Veramos, everybody can get a Beretta. This is probably my best example for everyone's super obtainable TOA hard team, where maybe if you don't have Briand, you can sub in another reviver that you might have. Okay, is it the team that I necessarily use? I make one slight adjustment. Okay, and my slight adjustment is when we get into the harder levels, I won't use Bella, and I'll use my Despair Praha, and I'll just forego armor break, and I won't care about armor break, because my Despair Praha adds a little more stuns. She adds AOE dispels, which increases the dot counter. Right, think of the buffs here that Praha would turn into dots, making it clear faster. And then I don't really mind when I get to the boss, and killing the boss takes a really, really, really long time. Now, granted, even though I have my Despair, Nat 5 Praha that I will use for most of my TOA hard autoing, there's a lot of stages where I'll switch her up in favor of Bella just because, like, I know Bella's going to do a better job for that particular stage, namely like Sierra stage, right? The the Sierra stage, a lot of times Praha gets bombed too much, and having Bella in there allows things to be a little more focused, and he's oftentimes not the primary target of the bombs. Now let's talk about some permutations of this, okay? I like Bernard. I love using Bernard to auto TOA hard, and he's a really great substitution for Mav, okay? And there might be some people out there that say have a Thrain, and they might prefer to use a Thrain over Beretta. Thrain is really nice, and the water Grim Reaper, okay. Primarily because, okay, so we'll put Vero in the lead, okay, and we'll still use Bella as our spot-on healer. We're still going to use our revive, but we'll just throw a Thrain in here, okay, and we'll throw a Bernard in here. Where's good old Bernard and good old Thrain? Where you at, buddy? Now, Thrain. This is the cool thing about Thrain. He's got built-in stun, okay? My Thrain is just mashup, just broken. In order for him to be effective, he doesn't need despair. He just needs accuracy and hit points, right? He just needs to not die and land his junk, right? And Thrain is another great example, especially when you're going to encounter. When you're on your quest to do your auto TOA hard, you're going to encounter those dark levels. Everybody knows all those. What's up, Matt? Everybody knows all those dark levels, right? That have the counter monsters like the Dark Yetis and the Jultons and the dudes that reflect damage. The levels with the dark elementals. When they show up high in TOA hard, Thrain shines. And a lot of times if I encounter those levels, If those guys are high in TOA hard, what I'll end up doing is I'll sub out Beretta and I'll sub in Thrain, and I'll just use this set right here, okay? Because Thrain won't kill himself on all the dark guys that counter. And the dark guys that counter will generally go mash on Bella. And Bella's a pretty good tank. You know, no matter how you rune him, you're generally going to rune him to be kind of tanky, right? You're not going to make it an attack Bella. So those dark guys hit on... The dark guys hit on Belladion. Your Reviver revives Belladion. Veramos stun stuff. And Thrain gives you the ability to dot up the dark guys, and so they don't counter, you know, and you can kill them without their counter effect killing your team, you know. You like the no shave look, Mr. Malo, David. Yeah, I don't know. I think I like this look a lot better. It's easier to keep care of, you know. I'm not always messing with my hair. Papa says, I've never had a stage in TOA hard that I felt Mav would help in. The only TOA mobs I wish I built was now our Spectra and Thrain, but I've never had a Thrain. Do you need Mav for TOA hard? No, you certainly don't. But I think I have a lot of experience in TOA hard, especially with using combinations of like Bernard and Verd. I've used Verd for TOA hard. And in terms of autoing, Mav will help you auto TOA hard too, you know? His skill set is just amazing. But if you don't feel like building a Mav and say you got like a tanky Bernard that you use for other content, Bernard he's smoking hot too. One of the pluses Bernard has over Mav is he's giving you armor break to allow your targets to focus. And his AI is perfect in terms of the speed boost, right? Like he's going to use his speed boost like clockwork, like say a Colleen would use her attack buff. And So sometimes what's the problem you run into with Mav is he refuses to give people attack speed. He does his first skill over and over again. His AI isn't automatic and spot on, say like Colleen or Bernard, and that's one of the pluses that Bernard has. Is he gives you like he's going to boost everybody's speed, and he's almost always going to use Tailwind if it's up, you know. So what this kind of boils down to in summation is, if you want a TOA hard team, you have to have revive, you have to have cleanse or immunity, you got to have area of effect dots, okay, you got to have heals, you got to have a buff stripper, okay, and you don't have to have a lot of buff stripper. That's the one plus thing. Just a Bella will get the job done, okay? And you need to have a monster in there, like a Bernard or a Mav or a really tanky fire vampire. You need a unit in there that's going to just increase the speed of your units across the board so you can get the turn advantage, right? And it's pretty much as soon as you get your runes up there, and the funny thing about it is you don't have to have fancy sets. I'm fixing to show some runes here in just a moment. Nobody's on violent. Okay, violent runes are reserved for like play toys, real-time arena, dungeon content. Does it help in TOA hard? It does. The violent runes do help, but this would totally roll up all the way. But nobody's on violent runes. Could you do Veramos and Bella on violent runes? Yeah, you could. Okay, look, my Vero, not even violent runes, right? What's the takeaway? It's just the stats, right? You just get him a whole lot of hit points and a whole lot of speed, right? Same thing for Bella. Bella is not on violent runes. He's actually on double Nemesis Will, because that's a fun way to play with Bella, especially for like Guild Wars defense, arena offense, messing around on arena defense. Bella is double Nemesis Will. He's just got a lot of hit points and speed. You don't necessarily really need violent runes. Briand is just got a truck ton of hit points and defense with a little speed and a little accuracy, right? My Mav has violent runes on, okay? But he's like violent guard, but same thing, right? Just a lot of hit points, some speed, a little bit of accuracy. Bernard is, of course, swift, right? But accuracy, speed, as many hit points as you can get. Same thing for Beretta, right? Beretta's just hit points and accuracy and speed, right? You avoid crit rate, avoid crit damage, avoid attack. He's despair focused with an accuracy rune, right? Ricardo can Basalt replace Bella while using Thrain or Mav? I wouldn't recommend it, okay? Basalt is an awesome TOA hard monster. Super awesome, okay? But he's hard to use in TOA hard auto sets, okay? Primarily because sometimes you will get to boss stages and he'll just derp. He'll use his heal at the wrong time. He'll use his AoE at the wrong time. Now he's perfect. He's probably one of my favorite, if not the best, manual TOA hard monsters. I mean, I love my Basalt. He's still decked out with like really awesome runes because I use him in TOA hard, especially for like the floor 100s or the floors with like the Leos and stuff. But do I use him for auto TOA hard? Rarely, okay? I might break him out to auto the Leo level. You know how sometimes Leo pops up at like stage 92 or something like that of TOA hard? I have a team I use to auto that involves Basalt, but this topic is about general TOA hard auto teams. And as far as like your healers, Really, a super tanky fast Bella don't get much better than that, you know, unless you're, you know, you got the Despair Praha, you know. Um, the but that basic team, you know, we'll go back to it. This basic team is going to be able to do in up to and including the, you know, even the hardest boss stages generally, um, without really problems, you know. And the only thing you got to do is make sure things got a lot of hit points, and things got defense and speed, you know. Um, Leo at 93 this rotation. Maybe I'll do like a maybe we'll do some like strategies for like the or maybe I'll show the strategies that I use for some of those difficult stages. Maybe I just might record them and upload them. I haven't done that in a long time. Record stuff and just upload them. But what this is about is, hey, if you're in the market to want to know how to press the button and do almost every single level, this is how you do it, okay? And the most important key monster is really none other than this guy right here, okay? Can you make substitutions for him? Yeah, you can, okay? Like if you have an Eladriel, or if you have a really nice Water Undine, the light mummy could fit in a pinch. The light Epicon priest could fit in a pinch. Don't you dare mess around with the dark Undine. She's terrible in TOA hard. Okay, those are the revivers that I might recommend as substitutions. Don't mess around with the fire mermaid. She's terrible. Her revive is terrible for this. But the best one, beyond a shade of doubt, is Brienne, right? Because he gives you heal block, and he gives you AoE attack break, and the opportunity for some despair stuns, and he evens out hit points, you know? Is Eladriel better than him? No, he's not, okay? I use Brienne over Eladriel for TOA hard all the time. Now I break Eladriel out to auto Leo, the Leo stage. You know how somebody was saying Leo is high up, right? When I'm doing Leo stage, I bust out Vero leader, double revive with Eladriel, and a double revive with Eladriel and what's his face, okay? Brienne, and I'll throw in Basalt and an AoE daughter. Like I'll put Beretta in the back, okay? Not as a leader, right? Because you don't need speed on that stage. And I auto it with generally Basalt is the only healer, and then Eladriel, Brienne, Beretta, and Veramos. Because Leo inevitably gets low, and especially some of the knights, depending on the Leo stage that you're on, whether or not he comes with the fire stuff or he comes with the other dark dragon knights, there's going to be some torrenting and insta-gibbing going on, and you just double revive and you bring a defense buff. Brienne's AoE attack break reduces their attack, and I can auto that stage in hard without any problems every time. Pulled Poseidon from TOA normal scroll. Congrats, Jay. Is it worth to keep building the water homunculus, or is it enough with Poseidon? You do not get better than tanky despair Poseidon for TOA hard. Okay? The only monster that you just don't get better. Virad's really good, okay? But Poseidon, especially with the recent changes, he's just amazing, especially if you make him tanky, okay? But you got to make him like really tanky. Best most overpowered TOA hard monster in the game. I would not recommend anything over Poseidon, Jay. Nothing. Water homunculus, Virad, no. He 100% AoE attack speed slow, 100% set everybody attack bar to 0, and then you know, making people not use their skills, double AoE so you can put them on despair, insane base hit points and defense. He's just absolutely amazing. Like if you're getting into the game and you're struggling with TOA hard, make him despair, make him tanky, and you can beat it. You can beat TOA hard. It's a lot like Spectra, right? And why do people use Spectra? Because you got to have the AoE slow, you know. And Poseidon just does a Spectra job in a slightly different way with way better stats and should I feed Conrad to Brienne? Zero. When I was coming up in the game, I fed everything to Brienne. Okay. He served me so well. He was the most important monster for me forever in this game. Okay, like I used him to auto dragons before people were speed clearing dragons. I did dragons with Brienne, right? He allowed me to go left tower, right tower, dragon, and Brienne stayed there. He stayed live. He revived somebody when the towers went down. I've used him to clear TOA hard since I could very first clear TOA hard, and I still use him to this day to do TOA hard. Now the other knights are good for Rift Raid, right? I mean, and Brienne isn't optimal for Rift Raid, but I don't know. I mean, if you're a newer player and you're just wanting to clear content, I might even recommend you feed everything to Brienne and get him all skilled up first, right? Because he's acceptable for Rift Raid, he's usable in Rift Raid, and but he's gonna shine in TOA hard, where all of the other Death Knights are gonna be pretty much wet noodles in TOA hard. But am I gonna stay on stream and do this all night? No, I'm gonna come back with some different content. Okay, we'll do some other fun stuff. We'll do some manual TOA hard or something. Because a lot of this, I mean, this autoing takes forever. I'll be at this for hours, right? You guys know this. The TOA hard is it's a long clear. But what I wanted to do today is just pretty much break down. Okay, if you're curious about how to TOA hard like a boss, the units you need, or more appropriately, the roles that you need, and some inspiration for potential units that might be in your box or might be fusible that you could use to get the job done, look no further than this set. Okay, these 5 guys right here, you really don't need more than this. Okay, I could take these 5 through most of TOA. There might be a random fail on some really tough levels, like Sierra and stuff like that, but what do I do? Just screw it, press the button, play it again. At some point the randomness is going to go a little bit in my direction, and maybe if I fail 1 or 2 times, I don't care. I'm doing something else. I'm cleaning a house, I'm working, I'm making money. I don't mind spending a couple of extra energy just to come back to it and have it win after like try number 2 or 3. I really wouldn't recommend recommend Basalt for most people. For auto TOA hard, he's really great for a lot of stages, and he's definitely usable for auto. But when you get up to the harder stages, he's not going to shine as much as say these units, Paquito, you bring up a good point, man. Some of these stages, especially when you start to get in the 80s and the 90s, they'll take a while. By the time you invest the 5 energy into the stage, you got your 5 energy back. As far as do I want to make any other recommendations? Not for this stream. Okay, there are a lot of units that you could potentially use to auto TOA hard. Okay, that's just a no-brainer because this game is fun and there's a lot of diverse units. But these are the units that are the most, or generally the most obtainable. Okay, and are easiest to rune most effective overall, and they're allowing me to illustrate the point, right? And the point is the roles that you need to TOA hard. Okay, you need area of effect, damage over time. You need revive. You need good consistent cleanse, right? The combination of Veromos and Mav, and you need the opportunity to get massive amounts of turn advantage and peppered in area of effect stuns, you know. And so if, as far as like if there's one takeaway, you know, and maybe you don't have these units but you have other ones, think of it in terms of that skill set. Okay, you need area of effect dots. Okay, you need heals, you need area of effect stuns, you need monsters that are gonna give you the turn advantage, and probably the most important of all is you need revive, because especially when you get up into these higher levels, randomness is gonna happen, units are gonna die. Okay, you cannot, I don't care what anybody says, you can't make a consistent auto TOA hard team without revive. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming and hanging out for this first short stream. I think we're gonna come back tonight and do some arena, especially maybe during rush hour, and then maybe some additional TOA hard levels. Okay, like maybe when it gets up into harder stages, or we might just come on and play around with Zyros. Because I haven't got a chance to play with Zyros yet in TOA hard, and I don't know, it might be fun to bust him out for some tougher stages just to play with him, you know. Steven, I don't think the homunculus specs, okay, are really feeling the roles, okay. For making a TOA hard team. And maybe this will be a final thought, and then I'm gonna stop this first stream for a little bit, come back with some other stuff. The big takeaway is like, okay, when you're feeling these roll monsters, they're roll monsters, okay? You don't bring DPS units to do TOA hard, okay? And so I wouldn't really recommend a homunculus unless you're gonna do some crazy like HP spec or something, you know? And the rest of your units feel a lot of additional rolls, okay? So maybe, you know, maybe if you made an HP homunculus that did dots, you know, like the water one, you build him HP like, and you used him instead of Beretta, right? I think that would be acceptable. But don't use a homunculus with low hit points, and don't use him over. Don't use him in combination with other things. You know, he has got to be your AOE daughter. You know, if you're gonna use him that way. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming to hang out for the little rant about. Hey, if you want my suggestions on how to auto TOA hard, that's pretty much it. Okay, it doesn't get much more simple than that. I'm probably going to come back tonight, goof around with some TOA hard, and if I don't goof around with TOA hard, or I'm probably going to pop on and we'll do some like arena rush hour fun, play around with Zyros. Yeah, thank you everybody for coming and hanging out for a little bit. See you next time.